house gods.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, we're live. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to Geek Battle here on the Extreme Improv, Geek Battle and Geek Battle Gaming YouTube channels. There's lots of things to talk about today. We will be entering the world of survival horror once more for more talk about Resident Evil, more talk about Marvel and Xbox and all kinds of things going on. But first, as always, here's the intro.
Welcome to the Geek Battle Zone. We discuss comics and puny minds are blown. We debate Marvel versus DC, Skeletor, X-Men, and Ron Weasley. Judge David slams down the gavel and cap dreams of Henry Cavill. It's a Geek Battle stream, nerd rage as we assemble our Geek Avengers team. Welcome to the Geek Battle party. We are the Justice League and our Batman is Marty. Say Hitler's a Tim as movies are greenlit. Every new movie, Deb's already seen it. Xbox, Star Wars, and Star Riders. He-Man, Star Trek, and David loves spiders. We battle as Marvel and Disney love Blink. And we try to crown the Geek of the Week. It's the Geek Battle Show. Welcome to the Geek Battleground, where we use the Force and the One Ring is found. Cap is wrong about Resident Evil 6. Everyone watch out, some shit is thick. Gerald and Tim and Diz will try to win at the Geek Battle quiz. David and Dave will confuse their crew as they dive in the TARDIS of Doctor Who. Watch out now, we're full of hot takes. John Courtney is garbage, but Red Dwarf is great. You love Sega, I love Nintendo. But in the Geek Battle, we are all friendos. Oh, it's a Geek Battle show. Oh, the Geek Battle show. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Geek Battle show.
Resident Evil
9.
Yes. So, Cap, compared to last week, I have now finished. I have played through Resident Evil 9. I know the full story spoilers, but I take so do you, since you were quoting things from it which even I didn't remember, and I'm not sure you've played it.
I haven't played it because my laptop cannot run it. But although I'm willing to give it a try, but I know there's no hope for it because even 4 was took a lot to do. But I have fully sat through the story because I would do it if a game is really that good. And David, I agree. I think this ranks above all the other Resident Evil games, at least from watching the story and some of the gameplay of it.
Wait, who do you agree with? I don't think I said this ranks above all of them.
No, I think you said this is after 4, this is the best time you ever had playing a Resident Evil game.
I don't think that's true either, but right.
Oh.
I think it's very good. I think it's very good. Maybe I did say that. Maybe in the heat of playing it, I was like, this is the best thing ever, or something like this. It's very good. I can fault it in a few ways, but they're not big deal ways. I don't know, I really liked it. I really liked the storytelling aspect of it. I still think there are some more things that I'd like to have seen them do with it. And perhaps the only real disappointment I have, well, 2 things. One is not the story, but just something about the game. It doesn't have a New Game Plus. Doesn't have New Game Plus.
That sucks.
It has.
That sucks.
It works exactly in my memory, unless I'm slightly wrong. It works exactly like Resident Evil 3, where there's challenges, where if you do the different challenges, then you can get completion points. And with the completion points, then you can buy certain upgrades. But it works exactly like Resident Evil 4 as you're playing the game as Leon, where you earn money. Basically, you get points.
Yeah.
They literally just call it you get points for defeating zombies or enemies. And then with
Yeah,
that,
like 6.
whatever. Right, I can't comment too much on that. But like 4. So then you go over to a crate. It's not a stranger, right? It's a crate, and you upgrade all of your weapons. And then you get to the end of the game, and that was all for nothing because you can't carry over those upgrades. Dev!
Yeah, that's weird that they've done that.
Hello.
Dev.
Hello, Dev. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I've been watching One Piece the entire day.
Oh. Well, yeah.
Oh, you're gonna have to give that to Dev, Dave. Like the Japan has been very good to us. I was so afraid that Resident Evil 9 is probably gonna suck, but it didn't. It was really great. And the weird thing is, they actually fixed all the tiny inconveniences that I had with the remake, especially with like Leon's character. They chat him up a bit because like one of the things I kind of hated in 4 is he wasn't the original self where he was cracking jokes and he was not really depressed about it. But in 4, he was like, I'm so depressed. I'm just trying to get through this. And I was like, oh, fuck, they gotta ruin the character a bit. But in this one, he's like, I'm dying and I don't fucking care.
So in 4, he was like Ethan, and now in 9, he's like Chris.
No, he's 9. He's back to his original self, I would say. The original Leon from the Resident Evil 4 was not depressed. He was the guy who cracks jokes. The remake 4 was like he had kind of had a weird haircut and the face was all dried up, and even the Ada thing, he was still hating on Ada in the original. In this one, nah, he was like, you betrayed me. I'm such a hard-boiled noir guy now. And I was like, oh fuck, what did they do to this guy? But then now he's back. And the other detail that I really like is that you usually get the big revolver or the big handgun near the end of the game when you're about to face the boss. But in this one, this is old Leon now. He's like, nah, I'm gonna need this thing in the beginning, so I'm just gonna carry this giant revolver with me. And he uses it like in other games he doesn't use it that much, but even in the cutscenes he's like, fuck it, bang bang, thing's done. I don't care, I just move on now. And I really enjoyed it, specifically Leon's story. Grace, I have to comment, she's got a fine ass. I think it's even better than Ada's. I have to comment that. I have to say it. It's a geek fact. It's a fact, and I'm a geek and a goober, and I comment on it.
There you
and
go.
she is actually a better blend of Ashley and Claire, I would say. She's like the better version of the boat.
Okay.
Someone vibrated.
I don't think it was me. Right. Yeah. Okay. So a lot to unpack there. Although we won't unpack Grace's ass just for now. But so coming back to what I was saying a minute ago, so it doesn't have a proper new game plus. It has these completion points, but it does mean that upgrading Leon's Requiem gun is completely meaningless throughout the game. You may as well not bother upgrading too much at all, except for it is actually quite easy. But I was literally, my first playthrough, it took 12 hours. And that is because I was like, I am upgrading everything. I am killing every zombie along the way. And so then when I got to the end of it, I was like, oh, I did all of that for no reason. Because half of the things you could have run past.
Is the axe breaks like in Resident Evil 4? If it does, then that would be annoying for me.
It is annoying, but it's not that annoying. It doesn't break. Grace's knives break and then they're wasted. Right? They disappear. Leon's breaks, but he has brought a flint and he sharpens it as you go along. So all it means is you kind of have to reload the knife every so often. So you just have to keep an eye because it does have a little bar to show how much stamina or how sturdy it is, durability I should say. And so occasionally you'll get it out and you just go like this and you could just reload the axe basically. The crazy thing about Resident Evil Requiem is that storyline wise they did some really interesting things where quite clearly Zeno is Wesker, so he's a clone of Wesker.
A clone,
right?
Yeah.
They say about cloning, and as soon as I saw about cloning and they were saying about Spencer, I was like, they're going to bring back Wesker. I was like, as soon as that, because my big complaint about the Resident Evil series is like, there are no bad guys. They kill them every time. And guess what happened to Dr. Gideon? They killed him. But I was like, they're going to bring back Wesker, and when I was like, oh no, they're going to bring back Spencer, I don't care about this character. But then clearly Zeno was Wesker. That was interesting. And then okay,
my sad bit about that is that we didn't get Leon versus Zeno, at least in the gameplay, which is the cutscenes we get a little bit, but it would have been nice to have. But it is, I mean, it would have been nice like if he wasn't cured, and again, spoilers, guys. If after Leon cured, you get a tiny fight scene with him before Gideon comes in, and then starts that fight over, because like that would have been cool, because Leon never faced anybody like like Krauser, I would say kind of like that, but I feel like it would have been cool, the guy that could dodge bullets. It would have been cool to fight Leon.
I agree, but I think there's a reason for that. I think it's a thing that throughout the series, Wesker is 100% the nemesis of Chris. Leon doesn't know who he is. So this way, they don't give us a Leon versus Wesker fight, but now when, like, Leon, when he sees the Mr. X Tyrant, he's like, you again, sort of thing. It's like, no, it's a different one. But it's the same thing. So now when he does come up against a clone of Wesker, he can be like, I came against one of you before, and stuff like this. So that might just be groundwork.
I do have to comment that Mr. X fight was like absolutely for all the shit that he pulled us through on the second game. This is like older, like you wanted the number 4 Leon to fight Mr. X, and this is like you can block with the axe, you can cut him and do melee attacks. This is cool.
I wish there'd been more. I wish there'd been a sense that they hadn't just got you out of the police station and then you fight him within the next 5 minutes. Because obviously you go on further. I didn't like that they brought back the orphanage or whatever it was from Resident Evil 2 remake, because it's not in the original Resident Evil 2, and I didn't care about the orphanage. And in Resident Evil 2 remake, the orphanage is the sneaking about section, which is boring, and in this one it's the sneaking about section, which is boring. So I was like, I don't care about the orphanage, but they okay, so this is I'll nitpick things, but it was a very good game. I thought the idea of Leon going back to RPD, that is where the game should have ended. Because suddenly you're just in a brand new, very clean looking laboratory again, underground. It's just the hive, the nest, whatever, all over again. And it's like, what, this existed there, undamaged by a nuclear bomb. It's like,
oh my god, and how much money went into that? Like they have like Umbrella decorated the whole place with like weird zombie statue, and I was like, what?
Exactly.
Like, oh, we are going to design the greatest viral weapon ever. I need the architecture to prove it.
I just think whatever the ending should have been, it should have like led into RPD, and it just take place there, and all of the areas that surround it that they possibly could. They should have brought back all of the areas from Resident Evil 3 and 2 remakes, obviously, and just made it so that you're being stalked around that whole area, that there's new threats and stuff. But, you know, they put in a new lab, and the new lab was cool in as much that suddenly it was like, wait, you have to kill humans. There are humans hunting you.
I like that. I like that bit too.
Okay, so the one-on-one fight, do you know who that was?
Yes, I know who that was. Take that, you side character. You're not a match for Leon.
Oh no, Hunk is like the original badass character of the Resident Evil series. That's this side character, and suddenly they've put him into the main storyline, where it's like, I've got the. He was like, hang on. It's like, I have the target in my sights. I'm gonna take care of him myself. And then he was just like, Leon S. Kennedy, we finally meet. And I'm like, yes, this is what this game is about. This is like bringing together certain ideas. It takes you back to Raccoon City. It brings back Wesker and means that proper Wesker can return in the future. Not necessarily. Or they can reveal that Resident Evil 5 Wesker was a clone. And that the original was
I think that's probably going to how it goes. I think he's going to be a clone. And
you know who they needed to stop Leon?
Tell me.
Tofu.
Tofu is in the game. Tofu is in the game. When you were in RPD, you'll go into a room and you'll suddenly just see something, because it's all like dilapidated and broken.
Yeah.
You'll just see past the rubble, Tofu walks past, and you're like, what the hell was that? And then as you sort of like look, suddenly it'll just poke its head wearing a beret like around the corner, and you can shoot it, and it's squeaking gibberish. But Tofu is literally in the game. And,
Nice.
And yeah, and so they've got like a lot of cool stuff in there. I think Dr. Gideon feels like wasn't the best boss, because when you have the motorcycle chase, I was like, oh, that's how you get rid of Dr. Gideon. I was like, okay, so Zeno's the bad guy here. But then at the end, he was just like, we'll kill Zeno, so then that can be a question for another day. And suddenly I'm a nemesis, and we'll have a big fight. But I chose, it was so obvious. Apparently, over half the players got the bad ending. But Grace was like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, they were like, she's like, I've got a plan. She's whispering to Leon. He's like, just enter any wrong code. She's like, I've got a plan. And it gives you a choice. Release the virus or whatever, or destroy it. And I was like, destroying it is too obvious.
Leon's gonna die.
Yeah. So I was like, release it. So, and then it gives you the good ending. I didn't actually play through the bad ending myself yet. But I might do, because
I didn't even look at that. I didn't even bother to look at that cutscene.
They love killing Leon and making it non-canon.
No,
they have killed Leon so many times.
David. I don't think, again, this success is kind of proves it that they will never commit to doing anything like that. They will never commit to actually. I think even Hunk is probably gonna get cloned.
Oh, Hunk didn't die. You see his hand. You see his hand without a glove, and you see that it's got like the dark bruising, which shows he was in Raccoon City. So it definitely is Hunk. It's the same actor that played him. When you leave the room and go back in, he's gone. So Hunk definitely
rematch.
And I love the fact that they took this character where it's like, well, kind of, who is Hunk? What does he mean? He had his bit in Resident Evil 2, but what does he mean in the rest of the series? But now he's there.
He was in 4, right? He was in 4, right, as a playable character?
No.
He's in Mercenaries, was he?
Yeah, well, if it's like a side game, but he's not in the main storyline.
I think even in 6, you have an option if you're playing 2 players. Ada can have Hunk, I think.
Really?
In the skin, but not in the story.
Yeah, I don't imagine in the story. But either way, I love the idea that this is kind of like connecting the dots. Obviously, Sherry was in 6. Go on.
Does Cap know the story of Hunk?
Well, I don't know.
Who Hunk is?
Sorry?
Cap, do you know who Hunk is?
I only know the bad theory of the dad's being Chris, but I don't think that's true.
Oh, wait. I don't understand. So what did you just say? What is the story of Hunk?
Isn't he like the... Wait, Cap, go on.
No, you go.
No, you need to go first, because...
Okay, so I know the bad theory of Hunk is literally being Chris, and who's been like shadowing all the events that's happening after the game
Hunk
and after the main story concludes.
You literally see Hunk's face in Resident Evil 3.
Yeah.
So, Hunk, Resident Evil 3 epilogue. Epilogue. Okay, look, I'll show you. So, when you do the epilogues, Resident Evil 3 has... you can play it through like 8 times to get different epilogues of different characters, and it's just like single screens that come up. But they show Hunk without his mask on, and so that is Hunk. So look, obviously people are saying, oh, could that have been Chris there when he says I am Chris Redfield? Because obviously Chris Redfield at the end of 7 looks nothing like Chris Redfield from the end of any other game.
Yeah, 6-5. He's not the same guy.
But let's see what it said here, because I can't remember. It says, once again, only you survived, Mr. Death. The chopper pilot speaks with cold bitterness. Always only you survived, Mr. Death. The pilot continues, but Hunk does not respond to the pilot. He doesn't care. The Death cannot die. The survivor thinks to himself with a warm smile. So that's all you know about. Is that the epilogue? I think that is the epilogue. I don't think that's from the end of the 4th survivor. But yeah, so these are the epilogues from Resident Evil 3. and so Hunk gets one. And I bet they regret that because he's kind of like Boba Fett, where you don't normally see his face, but they gave him a face at the end of the third game. Because actually, Resident Evil 3 on the PS1 originally was going to be where you play as Hunk. The whole game was going to be about Hunk.
Yeah.
And it was going to be a just kind of actiony, kind of not important game. But Sony were like, we want Resident Evil 3. You can't give it to the Dreamcast. So that's why that game became Code Veronica. And they were like, well, we can't call this Hunk spin-off Resident Evil 3. So then they made it about Jill instead.
But there's a lots of things that I actually enjoyed with this game, mainly because they didn't actually do anything new. They basically just kind of rehashed a lot of the stuff, but they did it in a nice blended way. And I even liked the Leon sad speech about so in the original, right, Raccoon City happens. He gets a Chad attitude, but he thinks this is what he declares to Claire, that he's going to scrub this virus on the face of the earth, and he doesn't care about it. But then the remake happened. In the remakes in 4, you get a dialogue that is like, I don't know what to believe anymore. That kind of guy who doesn't really care anymore, kind of lost with himself. But in this one, he has a heart-to-heart moment with Grace. And basically like, I was a cop. I wasn't able to do anything. Able to make a difference. But now I can, and I'm going to get this shit done. It's like, it's kind of a throwback to in Master Chief in Halo 6. And he's like, okay, I need to keep doing it. Why you keep doing this? Because this is all I know, and I'm going to get this done. And I'm like, yes, our heroes are back, and they're not giving a shit about it. We're going to get this job done. I was like, I really like that. Acting, everything in this is just top notch.
Yeah.
And it has much more emotional weight than 6. Even though I enjoyed 6, one of the things I like, even 4, I really enjoyed because even the sad Leon, I kind of get like the story did get me a lot. In 6, I was just mostly having fun more than investing in the story. The most thing I like about it is Leon versus Chris. But in this one, I was really invested in the story. And because it kind of did have like a big stake with like Leon having infection and everything like that. And I really enjoyed Grace's character as well. I probably would hate the gameplay, but as a cutscene, I really enjoyed her character.
I think, okay, play, if and when you play it, play as Grace like you're playing as Leon. Because what I did is, because when I saw that all these completion points where it's like there's new game plus, I was like, I'm going to load an old save and just see if things are available, and they were. So I was like, oh, I don't need to start the game again to get some of these completion points. I can just go into a save from my first run. And so I went back to the oldest save I had. I still had about 3 saves as Grace. And I was like, oh, this is so easy now. And I didn't have anything extra. The only thing actually extra I had as Grace is I got a knife which was unbreakable. But in the bit I played again, it's like I didn't even use it. And I was just like, oh, now I know what's coming up. I'm just running past stuff because now I know I don't have to kill everything and stuff like that. And I just played as her pretty much as I would have played as Leon. And I was just rattling through it a lot quicker. And so I think only the first time you play, where they show that Grace's hand is like this, quickly you get an enhancement to switch that off. And realistically, as Grace, it's just like when you play, like, I guess Resident Evil 2 Remake or the original games, where there was very limited ammo. And when you're playing as Grace, you just shoot something in the leg and, like, push it away.
Run past it.
Stun it and push it away because you don't have enough ammo.
I like her animation, though. I like the different animation. Leon's, like, clearly kicking and punching, and she's like, eh. That's all she can do. It's like, eh.
Yeah. Something I didn't like, though, was the ending. Was, like, the resolution to the ending. So when it's like, I've got an idea, Leon. And it's just like, so, Zeno and Dr. Gideon, they were like, she knows a secret. Why would she know the secret? How did they think that she knew the secret? She's like, but I don't know it. So you must know it. And then, just because that one video, she's like, she's my hope. So the password must be hope. It's like, really? It could have been anything. And also, as Leon said, just put in any wrong answer. It's like, yeah, why would they let her do it? Zeno should have been like, tell me the password, right? Tell me the password.
Or I kill him.
Yeah, no, all right. If I was Xeno, I'd have been like, okay, I'm going to remove 2 of your fingers right now. Then you tell me the password, and I won't remove any more. You need to experience the pain to know I'm serious. Then you can tell me the password, and if it destroys it, then I'm going to remove the rest of your fingers and then your toes, but I'm going to do 1 a day for the next 20 days, basically.
The funny thing is, they could have just showed, like, the way she figures it out is by watching her mom's floppy disks and things like
And
that.
that isn't even her mum.
Xeno, yeah, her adoptive mom showed the video and
Alyssa,
things like that. But,
you loser!
but the funny thing is, Xeno never showed her that. He was like, okay, here's the password, type it in. He provided 0 context. If it weren't for Leon,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have gone there and then actually figured it out. He would have been like, okay, Grace. Bang, the whole thing blows up.
The password is Grace. Yeah. Oh, but okay,
Drop
so
that onto one of the idiot villains.
So they've announced there's going to be some new story content, and I hope the story content doesn't just relate to. It had a post-credit scene where you just see some guys dressed like Hunk be like, "We've got this thing" or whatever. And
Hunk worked for Umbrella, right? I've got that right.
Originally,
right?
yeah. So I don't know where things are.
Originally, then he swapped places.
If you say
Like he
so.
defected and helped the others.
Well, when did he help the others? He was a bad guy in this. Like
In this, or like in the original?
So in the original, he wasn't a good guy at all.
Was he?
No. What happened is
Who am I thinking of? That is used to be Umbrella,
Yeah,
but then decided to randomly help the
Ada.
heroes.
that's Ada.
Ada.
So, with Hunk, he was one of the team that goes in to kill William Birkin. And when you see William Birkin get shot to death, and then he gives himself the G virus and turns into a monster, he then kills all of the army dudes that turn up. But the 4th survivor is that Hunk survived that attack. And then you have to play as him to escape and get to an extraction point, and you might have a sample of the G virus. I can't quite remember. And then what he does in any of the later games, if he's in 6, I honestly don't know.
This is what I know of. I think this again, it could be just gameplay. Is that you can complete the story of 4 with Hunk, but basically more like survival mode.
But then it's not the story of 4, right?
No, you can't really do the Leon story, but you can do that in this. Like you can go to the places and just clear out the enemies.
But isn't that just like a mercenaries mode? It's not like a story.
Exactly like that.
So like you have operation. Yeah, okay, but that doesn't mean anything because you can play loads of the games. Like you can do Resident Evil 2 with Chris Redfield. On the you can do like battle mode or whatever with Wesker on. Like Resident Evil 0 has got Wesker mode where you play it as Wesker and he's got like all of his powers and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
I need to play that.
Yeah. It'll be on like not on the original on the GameCube, but then when they did the HD remaster, they added Wesker mode. But yeah, so anyway, so I hope that this tease that whatever they're getting isn't just for the DLC. I hope that they are purposely setting up something for Resident Evil 10. Because right at the end, there was the guy you go over to Leon's like, we've got a message from Captain Redfield, and then they don't show it. I hope that isn't just something that will be in the DLC. It's like, Chris turned up, because he's got to be in it every time now.
I think the ending shows that Chris' squad is basically coming, and that's why the Umbrella people, they killed the guys who saved Leon at the end. And then they're like, the Wolf Squad is coming, and we need to get out of here before they get there.
Wait,
I think
you're saying
probably
at the
it's
end
going to
they
be
killed
Chris.
the people that saved Leon?
Yeah, they're all dead.
I wasn't sure
they killed
about
them.
So that was those ones. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Umbrella is fully back. I think this is it. Umbrella is fully back. And probably it's the original Wesker, and what Chris killed was the clone. And the other neatly wrapped up thing that I liked was... what was I going to say? So in this one, Gideon was a throwback to Nemesis, right?
Yeah. Kind of.
Why wasn't he that in the start of it? Why was it at the end he was shoehorned in as the nemesis, but in the start of it he was not like the nemesis at all? He
Well,
was
it's
just a big
because
zombie.
it was like a more developed nemesis. Because like obviously you have Mr. X, and then
Yeah.
Nemesis can literally talk, but just
And then insert stuff.
yeah, and then this it's like, well, he's got more control.
Is Grace implanted?
With what?
The nemesis thing that he does, like the parasite thing that he does when he
I don't
like
think so, because
implants
either way
things.
they got the cure all, didn't they?
Yeah.
And it's like
How
we've got a
did
dose for
Sherry-
you, Sherry.
How did Sherry get infected in the first place? Because I know this 100%. She got infected with the G virus, and then afterwards she can heal. And 6, she can get impaled and she can heal. Then I know she was experimented on, like she's one of those rare immune people.
From what I
How did she get
understand-
sick?
So something that does actually bother me about this is when I was playing Resident Evil 9, at the beginning they make a thing out of everyone who survived Raccoon City was now being targeted for assassination. And then that
Yeah.
seemed to not really get mentioned after they first mentioned it. Because obviously it was then, I thought there would be like a nemesis that is going after Leon, going after Sherry, going after Grace because she's the daughter of Alyssa or something like this. And I was like, oh, that's why they brought Alyssa back, because she was one of the few survivors of Raccoon City who we could actually say, oh yeah, that makes sense. There was another person. But then they kind of didn't mention about why they were killing all these people.
They were just infected. That's
Yeah,
pretty
so
much it.
anyone who was in Raccoon City, Leon was obviously... You think when you play the game, unless you play it absolutely flawlessly, you get grabbed or bitten or something at some point. A green herb wasn't enough of a cure. Same as Sherry. You run, on that game, the zombies just vomit at her the whole time.
Yeah, but for Sherry, it's different though. Like she's genetically, like she's superhuman. She's infected with the G virus. She was cured and she has abilities.
Okay,
Basically,
so
she's
does she
immune
have
to-
the abilities in Resident Evil 6?
Yeah, she
see,
gets
I just never
impaled
played as
and
her.
then she heals.
Oh, okay. Right. Anyway, look, we can...
She can burn off. Yeah, go.
No, go ahead.
So she can burn off anything that gets infected of her. She's basically kind of acts as a cure for most viruses, except for the C virus, where she wasn't. But Jake was, who was Albert Wesker's son. But that's why I was like, how did this thing ever work on her? That would never work on her. It would have made more sense if it was Claire instead of Sherry.
Yeah. Okay, well, anyway. Now, well, yeah, but then, look, Claire does appear in the game as a little pendant that Leon has, right? So,
He does?
yeah, like, so just like as a little
Yeah.
charm that you hang on, like, one of your guns, it's like trusted companion. Doesn't say his wife, but...
No, I'm calling it. That's his wife. He's married to Claire. I want this so bad.
I would prefer Leon ends up with Ada, to be honest.
No.
That's what the love story
Remake.
was in 2. It wasn't with Claire.
Remake Claire is much better, and Ada's never gonna settle down. She's an independent woman. She's
Yeah,
a free
but
agent.
look,
She's a femme
Leon
fatale.
likes the crazy chicks. You can tell it.
He smoothed it up a little bit. He was even weirdly enough. This game was made me convinced enough to go the other route with Grace versus Leon is also kind of a cute deal because I feel like they shared more chems. Like she's a better Ashley than Ashley ever was, and that's why I'm like, you know what? It'd be fine if Grace also hits on Leon, but I am really worried, David, that his wife is end up being Ashley. That's like no, that's like the dark timeline if that was the truth.
We just know that when Leon goes home, he has Claire, Ada, Sherry, Ashley, Helena, Grace all waiting for him. And then check this out. And it's like, so Leon's always got like a different love interest. And then
Yeah.
Chris's love interest, obviously, is Jill.
Yeah.
Jill and Leon have never met. So the next
Except
game,
in the movie.
so in the next game, Jill meets Leon, and she's like, she just quotes Hunk. She's like, Leon S. Kennedy, we finally meet. And then you just see Chris, and he's like, no! Leon!
Bloodlines continue.
They're suddenly holding guns at each other again. Leon and Chris. But actually, I think Leon is officially the main character of Resident Evil with the most playable appearances and more significant ones, because he's playable as the main character in 2, 4, 6, 9, and Gaiden, right? Whereas Chris is the main playable character in 1, Code Veronica, Revelations.
What's that sound?
I don't know.
Me typing.
Oh, so 1, Code Veronica, Revelations, 6, and then he is in 8, but he's only in 8 for 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Can you play him? Yeah, you can play him as in Ethan's game, right? The vampire game. You can.
Yeah. That's 8. That's Village. But you literally play as Chris for 20 minutes. So I think Leon has overtaken Chris as like the series. Oh, did I say 5? So 1, Code Veronica, Revelations, 5, 6. Yeah. So they've got 5 games apiece actually. 1 is Revelations, 1 is Gaiden. Oh, so they're even. They're even basically.
Except in movies, Leon has a beat on him than in movies because like there's there's
just a moment.
1, 2. I think only Chris appears in.
Just a moment.
Only.
The movies don't matter for anything. The movies don't count.
No, here's the thing. They actually do because they mentioned the events.
No
of the
one
game
likes the movies.
The
movies don't count.
Cap. The movies were a 10-year-long Valentine's Day gift from a director to his wife.
Nice.
Okay,
wait,
so guys,
which one?
let's...
No, I don't mean the bad ones, Steph. I meant
the animated ones.
The animated ones. That's what I'm talking about.
Nobody watched those.
Exactly. No one watched those. Like the weird thing is though, lots of
that's how I got into Resident Evil in the first place. Don't ruin this for me, guys.
Here's the weird thing. Lots of people have pointed out that the whole idea that Spencer may have suddenly created this cure for all of the viruses goes against what you knew about the character previously, especially in Resident Evil 5 and the Lost in Nightmares, or whatever this spin-off, like the download content where you play as Chris and Jill. And so it might just be that Resident Evil 5, where Spencer was, absolutely no regrets, they might change that in Resident Evil 5 Remake, right? And so if they've made this change now, the idea that they're always going to stick to what the movies have said, I think is unlikely. I think they'll forget them as soon as they feel that it's an inconvenience.
The funny thing with the movies, again, even the Resident Evil timeline doesn't Chris looks so much younger in the movies than he did in 6, but one of the movies takes place after 6, and he mentions the events of the 6, but he looks so
because
much
the movie is so accurate with casting.
Now,
look at Leon.
The funny thing, Dev, is because like he's so young and so different from his 6 personality, and he mentions Pierce and the sad PTSD, and I'm like, is that you? I don't think that's you.
Yeah, but Cap.
Yeah.
Look at Leon. Is that accurate to the games?
He just gets more handsomer every game. It's. I mean, like the first movie, he looks like exactly like the model from 4. The first one, he looks like exactly like.
But welcome to Raccoon City.
But that's not canonical to the games at all.
Is it not?
Welcome to Raccoon City. It's its own. That's the second series of live action ones, right?
Well, yeah,
that's. Welcome to Raccoon City. It's not the Milla Jovovich series. It's the movie. It's the live action movie they made.
Oh, it's the one with Beck in it. Oh no,
it's the one that Leon looks like Cap.
So the idea is that the Milla Jovovich movies are their complete own thing.
They're great.
Welcome to Raccoon City is its complete own thing. The games, the original timeline, so weirdly, the original timeline would mean that the games go Resident Evil 2, 3, Code Veronica 0, 4, 5, 6, and then did 7 come out before Resident Evil 2 Remake? It did, didn't it? So I think technically The original Resident Evil series ended with 7, but then you'd say 8 is still part of it, because then they started doing 2 remake, because the original remake, it doesn't really contradict what happens in 2, 3, 4, etc. But 2 remake, 3 remake, 4 remake, they do not marry well with the original series anymore.
I do have to ask, is 3 happens before 4 or after 4?
3 happens at the same time as Resident Evil 2. So when you play Resident Evil 3, the first half of that game takes place before Resident Evil 2. The second half of that game takes 24 hours after Resident Evil 2.
Okay.
And then Resident Evil 4 is several years later.
Veronica takes place after 4, right?
No. Resident Evil Code Veronica happens 3 months after Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
But Leon has a cameo in that one, right? He makes a phone call.
Yeah, a phone call, that's it.
So the idea is Leon's story is basically like this. So he survives 2. He becomes Sherry's... Yeah. He becomes Sherry's guardian, and then he starts working for the government.
Yeah.
And then after some missions with Krauser, he gets sent to save Ashley.
Yes.
But then when he makes the phone call in the cameo, he's working for the government. Was this after that or before?
Code Veronica happened several years before Resident Evil 4.
Oh, so it's
freshman.
So the weird thing is, Resident Evil games first came out in 1996. And they were set in 1998. And then very quickly, by the time Code Veronica came out in like 1999, or maybe the beginning of 2000, it was like, oh, this was set in the future, now it's set in the past. And then they did the game on PS2, which was Resident Evil Dead Aim. And it was set like in 2003, and it was just like, there's a zombie outbreak on a cruise ship. But then Resident Evil 4 was suddenly like, oh, it takes place in 2004, 2005, whenever it is. And it's just like, Umbrella's defeated, there's a new virus, zombies can still talk, and it was just like, they just skipped, we spoke about this a week or two back, they just skipped over the defeat of Umbrella, because the old games were just going so slow through the events, that they were literally like, this is several years later. It's a fresh start, basically.
I've been saying for years that they stole the idea for Resident Evil 4 from Scooby-Doo Zombie Island.
Really?
It's terror time again.
Because it was so not Resident Evil. It was like...
Because it was meant to be Devil May Cry.
That was 3.
No, 4 was Devil May Cry. No, Resident Evil 4... When they started making it, they gave it to someone who was like, oh yeah, Leon's got special powers. And they're like, make this its own game. It's too different to Resident Evil. And so the original version of Resident Evil 4 became Devil May Cry. But the weird thing, look, when you play Resident Evil, the biggest influences on it is like Night of the Living Dead. And then like a few other things thrown in there, you know, like the fly and stuff like this when you get the creatures at the end. And, you know, Jaws, obviously, you get a big, shark and stuff. So there's a lot of influences on that. The second and third one absolutely are based on the Terminator. With the stalker characters and the hunting you down and all this kind of stuff. Resident Evil 4 suddenly went with the idea of, like, mind control, Los Plagas, so it was like The Hills Have Eyes, and suddenly, well, literally, it had got, like, the chainsaw dude with the sack on his head was Leatherface. And so you can see lots of the different games where it's like, yeah, we're just going to have crazy mountain people, basically, go after you, and it was...
Okay, well, which horror movie do they punch a giant boulder?
None, basically.
Because I want to know where the fuck they got the idea from.
Sisyphus?
God knows where they got the idea for that from.
Indiana Jones? Sisyphus?
Well, but like in Resident Evil 4, there's also a giant statue that chases you. It's like they had a lot of crazy ideas.
Yeah, but that was another horror movie where like a giant colossus chases the main character. That's not your movie.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I'm sure Resident Evil innovated a few ideas themselves. And one of them might have been a boulder. Yeah, no one's done a boulder before. Or was it? Well, do you know what? There is a giant boulder in Resident Evil 1. And that basically is Indiana Jones, a boulder chasing you. Not chasing you, but
By the
rolling
way,
up.
that Golem scene isn't in the remake, is it?
No.
Is the Golem in the remake?
I don't think so.
No.
I think.
No.
Do you see something like it? But it doesn't.
There's a statue.
Yeah, you
but
see it, but you don't fight it. Like you don't run. Like
Because they were like, "This is ridiculous."
the dog is in it though. The dog is in though.
What dog?
There's a
the
dog
one
you
you
can
can pet.
save that will come and help you.
Oh
But if you-
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
Here's something about Resident Evil 9 is that there's hardly any different types of enemies. They are all zombies until
they are all from 6. They just rehashed from 6. They
Okay.
are all from 6.
But like, so I don't even know quite what the explanation was as I got through it. I was like, so why were these people infected and they could still speak? Because then when you go back to Raccoon City, obviously now they can't speak because they have to be the old style zombies.
No. So these are new. The one where Leon goes, because the people have been coming back to Raccoon City and they have been doing stuff.
Yeah, but
so-
none of them
yeah.
ever speak. When you get to Raccoon City, like you do get the guards that have, the BSAA that have still got like machine guns, but none of them speak once you get back to Raccoon City. So I think the idea is that these are people that, because they say you see some zombies crawl out of the ground, and Leon's like, "There's still zombies here," and Sherry's like, I thought they would have all been killed. And it's like, you can't just say I thought they'd have all been killed just to excuse the facts that to acknowledge.
I just googled it, and apparently the director said the ones that can talk are fresh.
Yeah.
The ones that can't have been zombies for a while.
Yeah, there you go. Right, so then when you get back to Raccoon City, as you're like driving on the motorbike, suddenly Gideon's got those dogs with like the Slimer like long tongues and that. And that's the only time you see the dogs, which is a real shame. Because
they should have done the Doberman. They should have done the Doberman.
There should have been
like
imagine if like in that game there was just like some of what was there in Resident Evil 2 and 3, but just like one. Imagine if you just come up against one Doberman. And it's like, oh, it's not even that hard to kill. Because it's not like a boss or something. It's just like, this is all that's left from
in
back
6, they are a pain, though. In 6, they are a fucking pain, though.
I'm sure, right? But so then you come against, like, Plant 42, like, vine monsters.
Yeah.
You have lickers, obviously. And is that it? Oh, yeah, you do have, like, the ones that have got the bulbous heads, like the big girl and stuff like this. But
the screamers from 6, the one zombies who can also fire and stuff, that's also from 6. The ones that the heads kind of explode and turn into, well, that's from 4 as well, but they have that.
There's like almost no bosses in the entire game. So obviously Gideon at the end, there's Mr. X, and
Mr. X was the best.
Are there any actual bosses other than that, or does Leon have
the plant?
I kind of like the guy
plant.
that's got like the things on it. Oh yeah, the plant is a boss, but like the
baby.
Not really. Do you know how easy that is to kill? Have you seen this?
I thought in the cutscene that he bothers you a lot, so I assume is
No.
the gameplay.
So the baby, like or whatever it's meant to be, I think it's called a chunk. The idea is that as Grace, you can either just get. I never bothered to use these. I was always like, give me ammo. But if you'd got like things, you could have done sneak attacks and killed them quite easily. But there is a zombie that has like the patient in the hospital was obviously blind and he's got bandages over his eyes and he's carrying around like a whatever it's called, like a stand that's got like a blood bag on it. And if you throw a bottle and smash it on the baby, he'll go over and attack the baby and one hit kill it. Yeah, so, there you go. Now, guys, look, we are just before the hour. I would happily keep discussing Resident Evil, and we can talk more about it when we discover more secrets and stuff as time goes on. But, what to quote Lois Lane from the end of Superman the movie, what's happening in the world? What else is there that we have not covered? Dev?
See, I avoided interrupting because I wanted the show to somehow run the entire hour just on Resident Evil.
It could do. Like, Dev, I was like
You know what?
most mindful of you here, thinking like, oh, Dev doesn't like the horror stuff. Like we're just going over the top. But you were chipping in. I was like, okay, Dev knows.
Dev likes
I was
Resident
entertaining
Evil.
myself.
It's not horror. He will enjoy Resident Evil.
No,
He
I
gets to kick
can't.
ass
I
with
tried.
Leon.
I tried. I can't.
Right, but anyway,
Oh.
So, is there anything else?
Okay, so we have the new trailer for Mario, the new hardware for Xbox.
Yes.
Microsoft shifting priority to AI more in gaming now as well,
Ugh.
and Overwatch becoming Overwatch again. So they changed Overwatch 2 to Overwatch 1 again. They changed the name back.
Wait. So what has changed its name?
Overwatch has changed their name back to Overwatch 1. Okay, so a few years ago, the Blizzard released Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
But because nobody was playing it, they shut down Overwatch 1. Overwatch 2 was basically a reskinned Overwatch 1. But now they changed the name back to Overwatch 1.
That's weird. There are certain games where it's like there is no point making direct sequels if they just continually update games.
Yeah.
If they're like online games, like Minecraft, like World
Who
of
played
Warcraft.
Overwatch here?
I've played it a tiny bit years ago.
Yeah, I own like club skins, that's it.
Yeah.
I never played Overwatch or Fortnite.
You never played Fortnite?
Fortnite is great for the collaborations. You have not lived until you've killed Homer Simpson with Goku, Sabrina Carpenter, and Godzilla.
Yeah, I've not played the only online multiplayer games I played were the shooter games is Call of Duty. But other than that, nada.
I played a lot more of PUBG than I played of Fortnite when they were first a thing.
Ah.
But,
PUBG was better for the community, but Fortnite was more fun.
yeah.
Especially if you played no build. We played no build, it was great. Well, but the building ruined it for me, basically.
What? No buildings.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So
What? Just because people would be snipers in Windows?
No, as in Fortnite is the original Fortnite was a battle royale, but you could build like your own base and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you took away the building, and it just becomes like a FPS shooter instead of a building game.
Oh.
And that's what made it more fun for me because I could do funny stuff like killing Luffy with the Kamehameha and beating up Dwayne Johnson as Homer Simpson and all that good stuff.
I like that kind of stuff. Although, in one sense, because when these things where you get these character crossover mashups, at first I think they're very exciting, but eventually, if it just feels like you can kind of get anything at various times, it kind of loses the appeal. Like Smash Brothers, when it was first a thing, and it's like you've got Pikachu fighting Mario, fighting Samus, fighting Link, but now there's 50 characters in it and stuff like this, and and it's like Funko Pops as well, because I was like, oh my god, they've got Funko Pops of the movie Trading Places starring Eddie Murphy. I need to get those. But then when they do Funko Pops of literally everything, I'm just like, well now I sometimes think that too much choice actually is a bit of it puts me off a little bit on things.
See, the way that Fortnite combats that is every skin is only available for a limited time.
Yeah.
And they hardly do have the repeats. So we'll never go on with choice. For example, as soon as the guy in my left corner here, the lizard, from Hopper, came in, I had to bet him straight away. Because I know he'll be leaving soon.
So, but do you get
because he's only there for a week.
But so when you say he's only there for a week, can you use him in a month's time or a year's time?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you can only buy him for that week though.
So say I want Homer Simpson and that's come and gone.
Yeah.
But that would make me want to buy the game in a year from now. Are you saying there would just be no way for me to ever get that?
No, you have to wait for him to come back if he comes back. And they really do. They rarely come back, so it's very if you want to get it, you get it.
Yeah, it's a shame when they do like these things, but it's cool that there is still a way that they.
It's how they keep the licensing prices low. Where if they can only offer him for a certain amount of time, the license price will be so much lower than a long-term thing.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they can get all the Warner Brothers stuff for pretty cheap now. I assume.
And about that, did you know what happened?
What happened?
What happened?
Paramount fucked over Netflix so much.
We
they offered 10 times the money.
Yeah, so Paramount are now buying Warner Brothers and not Netflix.
Yes, because they offered 10 times the money Netflix did.
But
where did they get it from?
Netflix had already agreed it, right? If I was Netflix, I'd be like, "Sorry, Bob, you sold it."
They got fined. They got fined 20 million, and they were like, "We'll pay that as well."
Wow, that's crazy.
Imagine that, like, no, we already made a deal. We're gonna sue you. Fine, we'll pay the sue money. Where do they get this money from? What is this Paramount?
They own ChatGPT. They own all the servers. Like the AI stuff runs on.
I'll be honest. Like I liked the idea of Netflix buying it because I was like, they're going to make Justice League too, you know. But I saw this thing the other day suggesting that James Gunn may be leaving the DCU very soon, right? Which would be, I don't know, probably a good thing. But it's just like, what's going to happen to everything Warner Brothers now? Because what have Warner Brothers got?
The same thing happened to the Snyderverse, David. Bubkiss.
What's Bubkiss?
So,
meaning nothing. They're just nothing.
But do you know why that rumor came about? It's like, for now, it's unsubstantiated. But the moment that Netflix bought Warner Brothers, Snyder started spamming Instagram with posts of him.
Yeah,
and just
all the black and white shots from his movie that people were saying is like, Snyder, what are you doing?
Yeah, and so everybody took that and ran.
Do you know? I hope that Paramount having it, because I just see like Paramount Plus sucks, and it's like, okay, so Paramount Plus will now have the Warner Brothers stuff, so it might be good.
They're combining Paramount Plus and HBO Max.
Oh, thank God! Right, but
I call it Paramax.
Paramax, I like that term. But like, if Netflix had got it, I just feel like so many things they wouldn't make. Netflix makes really good shows, like Stranger Things and Cobra Kai and whatever else that they took on Cobra Kai after a while. They didn't originally create it, but like Squid Game and that. Movies though, I think Netflix they haven't made 3 good movies.
Except for Bright. I would die on that hill.
I didn't like Bright. It might be alright. I didn't finish Bright was the problem. I liked Bird Box, and that was like their first big movie.
Yeah, I'll make the joke of, I'll watch a Netflix movie if Ryan Reynolds is in it.
Shit, what Ryan Reynolds films have Netflix made?
It was Red Notice and something 6, Invincible 6 or something.
Red Notice? Wait, you enjoyed Red Notice?
Yes.
Huh.
Gal Gadot.
Okay, that I understand, but it's only one shot.
But yeah, so I don't know. I hope that Paramount having Warner Brothers means that they actually continue to make something, you know, good out of. If they've got Lord of the Rings, if they've got Harry Potter, if they've got not Marvel, DC.
The really annoying thing is I know exactly what they're planning, and this is going to be a legitimate thing because this can't get me sued.
Okay, go for it.
So they have access to every AI server.
Yeah.
They run the data centers and stuff. What Oracle, the owners of Paramount, want to do is to use the knowledge they use the data they have in the data servers from the AI usage to create personalized ads for users.
But Dev, I thought Paramount was going the opposite route of Netflix, where they're like more focused on theatrical releases instead of streaming services. Is that true, or is that that?
Yes, no, both.
They
want to do both. They want to quote Wesker because we're still a Resident Evil, with the Resident Evil podcast. They wanted total global saturation.
Ah. I mean, I know that Tim has told us that like Paramount is kind of politically charged as well.
Yeah, the owner is best friends with Trump.
Hmm. Ah.
But look,
I hate these. I hate these. Like I've been saying this. Like when 2015 happened, movies started to suck.
When Harambe died, the world ended.
when who died?
Yes.
I would,
Harambe,
when Harambe.
I don't know what that is.
the gorilla.
Okay. So
Alright.
in 2016, a gorilla in a zoo was shot, and that destabilized the timeline, and everything's gone to shit ever since.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And what I
No,
yeah,
on,
go
Kat.
there. Go on, Dave.
No.
Now, what I observed from media is like on 2015 onwards, most of the movies kind of started to suck because they kind of did weird political angles in movies that didn't make sense with political angles.
I
They
agree.
could have still done the political angles. They could have done it with better writing and things like that, but it went batshit crazy and it didn't make sense for most movies. And again, this is not me saying that don't include politics in movies because I don't think that's possible because everything's kind of, you gotta express your worldview and everything in politics, and politics has been a part of movies and TV shows for a while. It's just they've been written very well that best suited to the stories that they've been doing.
Let me give you a quick example on that, where I'd say, so if you watch Planet of the Apes, and at the end it's like,
Yeah.
damn you blew it up. It's like commentary on like where we're going in the world, nuclear war, stuff like this. Same with Terminator, especially Terminator 2, stuff like this. If you said to like the average person on the streets, like, oh yeah, like what's the political global message about Terminator 2? They'd be like, what? Hasta la vista, baby, and it just wouldn't be a thing. You know, it just wouldn't be like part of it at all. Whereas they, you know, this all became a big thing. Like if you remember when they did like the all-female Ghostbusters movie. Like that suddenly
Was that really that serious? I never understood that being like
that was kind of like the first one where it became about a thing where it was like, oh, so this is, you know, we're forgetting like the old one, and everyone's like, oh, but we wanted the old one, and then they made a bad film, and so from there it became like movie studios and then like and filmmakers and stuff, it's like, okay, well we need to make a point with this one. And it's like, you don't need to make points with any of them. If that had been a good movie, then you know, it wouldn't have been a thing. But this is just where people went crazy saying like, oh, you know, you can't have it all female, we want Venkman. And it's like, well, if it's a good film, it won't matter. But it wasn't a good film. But because it was like the famous film, I think it was because of Ghostbusters, that they actually took off so that you couldn't see about likes and dislikes on YouTube. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah.
It was because now everything gets like, it's review bombed and stuff like this. And
I do agree on the online front because, like you said, David, like when Terminator was coming out, I mean, I wasn't alive back then, but I would say when I was watching it as a kid in the 2000s, I didn't give a shit about like the political messaging or anything. Like the only thing that I got when I was a kid is that Arnold saying to John Connor, "You are what do you say? It is within your nature to destroy yourself."
Yeah,
that is like the only thing. Like, damn, that's deep. But that's all I got. After that, I was like, yeah, I don't know.
I like how nobody noticed the one political thing in Terminator 1 that everybody latches on to.
in Terminator 1, the political.
Yeah, in Terminator 1.
Go on then.
Well, no, in 2.
Oh, in 2. Go on.
Where the kid saves the world by lying to the policeman.
Oh yeah. John Connor's friend.
All right. Yeah.
Like, and like for years there was like a caption saying, "By not trusting the police, he saved the planet."
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is my friend John. Chong. Someone needs to use AI just to make that scene where the film's over there.
Yeah.
You rat.
Yeah.
And then he grew up, and then the policeman grew up to be John Cena's dad.
The funny thing is, now it's like, I know it's fueled on YouTube and content like that, where it's like everyone's kind of pointing out the political things that are proud to happen in movies and things like that, which I always also think it's kind of an over analysis, which kind of like doesn't even help you give a shot about that movie.
Yeah.
But they're kind of right, where my always problem is, if it doesn't make sense to the story, don't freaking do it. Think about Resident Evil is a very good example. You have girls who are total badasses who can hang out with the best of the guys. But you also have girls who won't probably able to hang out with the best of the guys because they're new to this whole thing.
In which movie?
In the Resident Evil games, I'm saying.
Yeah.
In Resident Evil. So you have characters, girl bosses who can match the best of the guys. Like Ada can match with Chris and Leon. But you also have, Claire too. But you also have girls who are kind of new at this. So they won't be able to match those guys. Like Grace wouldn't be able to fight Leon or Chris or anything like that. But still, they're great characters, and it made sense for them in the story to have both of these characters. Which I never had a problem with any girl characters in Resident Evil games because they're always done well. If you do them well, people won't really care.
But
yeah,
I would say even with the Ghostbusters film, it's not like there's a over message in the actual movie. Yeah. It was just kind of like what the discussion was around it, and it was like oh, so you're doing this as a swap of some kind or something, and it was that they'd hired the director who'd made Bridesmaids or something like this, and people and where it came from, it was just people saying this wasn't the movie I wanted, but then it kind of morphed into something else. And then a lot of the when you look at the Marvel films, they, again, it's not necessarily about that they've taken a lot of the characters and made the
I think that happened with
or whatever.
After they merged with Disney, that would happen to them. I think again, Disney, as much as I love Disney, they kind of
you're trying to pinpoint a movie or a
what I was
thing?
gonna say, if I could just quickly say, so if you Captain Marvel was like a big hit and things like this, and Wonder Woman was a massive hit, and it was actually, people were interested in Captain Marvel, and Wonder Woman is a really liked character. But what's happened in the years since is they get a lot of characters that no one cares about and no one has really heard of, and that's the bigger problem. And then they point to, it was an argument about this, that people don't want to see it because the characters like an ethnicity or because it's a chick or whatever like this.
And the other problem is they always shoehorn in them with popular male characters and then destroy their storyline to pull their storyline, which again no one's gonna like. If you're gonna do a Doctor Strange movie, just do Doctor Strange movie. If you want to do an American Chavez movie, just do an American Chavez movie, and market it well.
That Doctor Strange thing, for me though, the reason it sucked is because it was called Multiverse and it didn't have a multiverse in it. It was like here's one other place, and here's
they did the whole montage of.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. That's like The Flash, where it's like, hey, there's old Batman in a globe. It's like, who cares, right? It's like these characters don't interact.
You get different versions of Bruce Campbell, at least. Although he plays the same guy, I assume.
But yeah, realistically, I really hope that it doesn't become that Paramount suddenly makes things political or whatever. I joked about it a few months ago.
Starts spouting all patriotic things is the American way, the American way, the American way.
Well, I hope it just doesn't become that. I just want it to be fun movies and stuff.
Yeah,
basically.
Focus on fun. Focus on entertaining. You can do the deep stuff along with it, and if we catch it, that'll be great. But focus on entertainment and making a good movie.
I need them to make The Boys movie.
I kind of checked out of The Boys after season 2.
I'm getting back into it, and especially because the later season has a supernatural reunion.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what I liked about The Boys was because it was so oh my god, it's so everything that the Avengers is kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then even by the second year, all of these things Saw, they're we were shocking the first time round, so now we need to outshock what we did before.
the weirdest and the funniest thing to me is The Boys is a superhero movie written by a guy who hates superheroes.
Well,
Yeah.
that doesn't surprise me.
Same
when
as
you watch
Invincible, right? Same as Invincible, right?
Yeah. And the whole gimmick is like superheroes are fake. They're manufactured. They're evil. Like they're all bad. I'm like,
but you know what? That is actually something that went wrong in Marvel as well. Because again, after Endgame, suddenly it was just like storylines where it's like, oh, like here's Ant-Man, he's got a book out, and here's Falcon going into a bank, and it's like, oh well, my Tony Stark pays us. It's like, I don't want to hear that you're paid to be an Avenger, right? And then it's like, oh, like here's someone wearing a Hulk mask and stuff like this. It's like, oh, we learned
merchandise.
Yeah, it's like it suddenly took it into this idea that they aren't just super, and like literally in Thunderbolts, it's like, oh, who is it? Like,
copyright the name.
Yeah, copyrighted the term Avengers. Oh, we should be Avengers with a Z. It's like, who thinks about this when they're like meant to be heroes that are selflessly saving the world? And I just think you should keep all of that aspect out of these stories. There's no need for it.
They forgot the core fundamental. Again, that's why, again, I'm going to go back to Resident Evil 9. They went back to altruism. They went back to heroes doing hero stuff for being heroes' sake. I'm going to get the job done. I don't care for the rest about thing. I don't care about merchandise. I don't care about my public social media appearance. And I don't care if other people hate me because I'm just going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
This has been completely faded from heroes and characters, everything that has actually come out recently. And I would say Invincible gets away with it a little bit, but for a person who actually really enjoys like Justice League and the old cartoons and things like that, Invincible bothers me in some ways that I just can't overlook, because I know it's by the guy who doesn't like superheroes. So he's trying to do what superheroes won't do in this situation. Oh, we have a vulnerable superhero who always cries. It's Mark. He doesn't win every fight, but he cries because he's emotionally available.
Oh, that sounds like
loser.
The Doctor.
You're a loser.
You loser. Yeah, exactly. It's like Doctor Who. Like the Shooty Gatwa cried in every single episode, and it meant it was meaningless by the second time. It's like, why are you crying? So, oh, he cries.
I would have Leon just honestly admit that I wasn't able to do anything back in Raccoon City, but now I won't let this end. I like that, just a little shred of vulnerability, and you can feel all the weight that he felt when he was a policeman into this big sobbing scene of him going, I am PTSD depressed.
I don't know why he had like this survivor's guilt, right? He turned up, it was his first day. And it was just like, he was lucky to get out of there. He saved the girl, he saved the kid. After that, he then went and he should be more worried about that he was the president's bodyguard and let him turn into a zombie. That's where he
shot him.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
shot him.
So, that's going to be a bit hard if he is nailing Ashley. It's just like, babe, something I need to speak about. I shot your pops. Right. Anyway, Dev.
You just reminded me, there's a guy on Twitch who streams. He's like this ex-army sniper. And instead of PTSD, he has nostalgia. So he plays as FPS games, but uses real life sniper techniques to be really good at them.
Yeah.
Because he was actually a sniper, so he's like using his real life skills in the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But the coming back to Leon a bit, I'm fresh on Resident Evil, guys. Sorry.
Right.
But I think the whole thing, like him, was like it's more or less survivor's guilt. More or less, he has like, oh man, I was a cop, and I really wasn't able to do I think in the remakes they said you're a cop, you should know what's happening. I think that's it. What kind of bothers him?
1998. No one had cell phones.
He was bothered. He watched growing up RoboCop, David. He wanted to be RoboCop and he couldn't. He was in a zombie movie.
Look, he got there and there was Detective Branner there, and so even in 9 he's like, Detective Branner, is Kennedy reporting for duty. It's like this guy died 30 years ago and you met him for 28 minutes, right? So it's like you shouldn't care that much just because he was the only cop alive in the entire building. And then who else did you meet that was alive? He met Ada, she lived. He met Sherry, she lived.
Claire.
He met Claire, she lived. He met the chief, I guess. Did he meet the chief or was that just Claire? But yeah, he died, but he was a bad guy.
Marvin.
Yeah, right. He met Birkin's wife. She died, but she was a bad guy. Who else?
He didn't care about her anyways.
Who else could have he saved? Oh, like Kendo. No, okay. So here's the thing about Kendo and his gun shop and his little girl. In the original game, you meet him 30 seconds into the game. He's like, "Who are you? What are you doing here? Sorry about that. You know, don't shoot. I'm a human." What the hell was Leon talking about there? Right? Leon or Claire? Don't shoot. I'm a human. They had a car accident. They walked past like 4 people who were zombies. But for all they know at that stage, well, these people have... Leon's like, gets out the car. I've just been in a car accident. There was a big explosion from this truck. I'm sure all of these people were caught in the explosion. Instead, he just starts shooting them and instantly understands that there are zombies. Don't shoot, I'm a human. And then when he sees Claire, Kendo's like, "Sorry about that, babe. You know, I thought you were one of them." And then he goes and stands next to his glass door so he can get mauled. And then, and that's all you have of Kendo. And then in the remake, they were like, "My little girl's a zombie. I'm going to stay with her."
Yeah.
And then they could have had... Then they actually did... Did you see Kendo in Resident Evil 9?
No.
He's a skull.
Yeah.
So either him or his daughter, whoever's skull it was in the shop, they're just a skull, right? How cool would have it been if you'd gone into that room, he's a skeleton, and the daughter was still there?
Odd.
That'd have been cool.
That would have been more jarring. But also, this kind of goes back to like...
Hang on, what's Dev got there? You dirty dog. You're like Wesker. You've got Rebecca's...
Yeah.
What? Okay, did you see about that in this game?
No.
So
why is Wesker obsessed with Rebecca in the first place?
Well, in the original game, you search Wesker's desk 50 times, and you'll find a roll of film, which when you develop is basically that photo. The same thing happens in the remake. And then in Resident Evil 9, you find that he's got a photo, the same photo of her, in a library book, hidden in the library, and the code to a briefcase is like RRR, which apparently stands for like Rookie Rebecca something. Recent Rookie
Is Rebecca Jake's mom?
I would love them to do more with the character than Rebecca. I hate the fact that I've never seen the movie she's in. She should have never been brought back into the movie, because for me, for years, it was like, what happened to Rebecca after Resident Evil 1? She's the main playable character in 0. What happens to her after 1? And they could have found any way where she then sided with Wesker or something like this. They could have had something like Wesker was nailing her, she was his bit of whatever on the side, and there could have been something fun in it.
She's in 2 movies. She's in Resident Evil Vendetta and also
Gross.
Death Island. Death Island, she was as much doing it, but in Vendetta, you get a knockoff Wesker who's not Wesker, but like kind of obsessed with Rebecca, which I felt like was a nod to Wesker, who's one to like put her in a wedding dress and was gonna zombie marry her, I assume. So I never understood like what's the thing with Wesker and this girl. Who is this?
He just fancied her, right? He fancied her. Right, guys, on that note, I think we should begin to wrap things up here. So, Cab, what's your feelings on Rebecca, actually? Because I don't think I've ever heard you speak about Rebecca.
She's okay.
Wow. Harsh on Rebecca there.
I mean, she and Ashley kind of go into the category of like, they're okay.
You realise that they look exactly... All of the main women in Resident Evil basically look identical with different haircuts.
True.
None has one piece.
The funny thing is, I was Team Ada before the remake started coming out. I was 100% on Team Ada, but then the remake came out, and I was like, "Oh, Claire clearly is hotter, so I'm gonna jump ship now," and that's when I jumped ship. But now Grace is also kind of hot, so I'm also
Yeah,
on
but
board
she's
with
also a
that.
coward.
Yeah, but she cares for Leon, David. She bravely, come on, Leon, get up.
She got pissed off at Leon and left him for Gideon halfway through the game.
Yeah, but then she comes back. That's the important bit. You don't care about the relationship gone screw.
Well, now he knows how Scott Pilgrim feels.
How who?
The one down.
Now he knows how Scott Pilgrim feels. Being left halfway through for someone named Gideon.
But here's the thing though. Sherry, I like the new Sherry model. Than the one we're from like in 6. I like the new Sherry model. I think she got taller, which is weird.
What was I going to say? Since this is Resident Evil Battle, I had a question.
Yeah.
I've only played Marvel's Capcom 3 or whatever, so I only know bits and pieces of like Nemesis and Claire and stuff.
Yeah.
Jill. Why is like Jill a cyborg?
She isn't. Like, I don't know what they do in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Jill has never been a cyborg. The only thing that happens is in Resident Evil 5, you find out that Wesker has... Jill seemingly died, but she was kidnapped by Wesker. He fitted something onto her, which kind of mind-controlled her, basically. Like they were talking about in Resident Evil 9. So he could control her, and it gave her some abilities. And then after that, they've decided that, because of however she was affected... She now doesn't age, basically, so that she can stay young and hot, even though this series is going on 30
She has a long hair. She suddenly got long hair and kind of became blonde. And I was like, what the hell did that happen? Did Wesker dye her hair blonde?
Yeah, the weird thing is, when you see Inez, who played her, I'm sure she's blonde. Inez, I don't know how you spell that, Resident Evil. I'm sure the original Resident Evil actress is blonde. Yeah, look, so hang on, let me just quickly bring this up here. So the original actress that plays Jill is blonde.
Ah.
And she was in the actual, you actually see her as her in the original game. It's just when
how was she in the original 3?
Brunette.
Ah.
But then, yeah, then
she basically has Leon's hairstyle, right? Except the girl version of that.
What?
In 3?
No. Leon's hairstyle. That's going to ruin that for me. Nemesis. Right. Okay. Nemesis Jill. You consider that to be the same hairstyle as Leon just because it's side parting?
No, Leon looks like DiCaprio and Jill looks like a Karen. So
he does look like DiCaprio, but then Steve Burnside in Resident Evil Code Veronica looks exactly like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Like, I mistook him for Leon actually when I saw the trailer.
Yeah, when you play Code Veronica, they 100% made Steve Burnside just Leonardo DiCaprio. They didn't even try to remotely hide that.
Even Carlos was like Leon, right? Carlos was like Leon, and then he also kind of switched in the remake.
You know what? I just realized something. Does every character look like Leon to you?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I just said that all of the women are the same with a different haircut, and now it turns out that they're all Leon.
Leon's haircut, not Leon himself.
I wonder why they've never brought back Carlos. I feel like after the remake they might. But look, they completely changed his character. Like, you see this scruffy-haired dude that they got in the remake, and I liked his character. Yeah.
He looks like Welcome to Raccoon City, Leon.
I'll be honest, I didn't really like Carlos in the original Resident Evil 3. I don't think either of them have got the best look, but I liked the character in the remake. But he's a character they should bring back. They need to find a way to bring back Billy Cohen from Resident Evil 0. There's just a few of these side characters that should have got another look in, but they never do.
You know what they should do? They should bring it back as zombies.
They could do. Like, if they did it in an interesting way. Because, like, the whole point of the character Brad in Resident Evil 2 is you meet this character who was the helicopter pilot in the first game, and he's a zombie. And then in 3, they show that Nemesis killed him until they did the remake, where they were just like, he just became attacked by zombies immediately. So he didn't even have a remotely heroic death.
David, what if Resident Evil 10 has no Wesker but has Jake?
I'm going to play 6 at some point this year. Just so I can know what the story is here. I played all the way through as Leon, and I'd kind of really had enough of it. I tried to then play it as Chris. I didn't get too far into it, and then life got in the way.
On Chris's gameplay, I beg you, choose Pierce. Just choose Pierce. Okay, so you'll have more fun.
When it was original, you didn't even get to play as Ada from the beginning, but I know you can nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Which pairings would you say to do the ordering of Resident Evil 6? Who should you start as?
Technically, the story starts out with, I think, Ada. Technically.
No, okay, but she wasn't originally in it, so she's downloadable content, right? So take her out of it, right? So
if I take her out, Chris is the very start of it. It happens before the attack that happens on the White House. Chris' story is the one that actually starts it. He's the one who, before even the attack on the White House happens,
so Chris
storyline
and then
happens.
Is it Leon or Jake next?
It's Chris's story, and then Leon's story, and then Jake's kind of trapped in the middle of it, and they kind of all interact in the final China battle.
Right, guys, we're gonna have to wrap things here, just because.
But David, my last account, when you're playing in Chris's story, please play as Spears. I beg you, just do it.
For what reason? For what reason?
You get a better gun, and you get to do different things than what Chris would.
Okay, I'm definitely playing as Chris, but we'll see. Right. So, guys, let's find out where we can find everyone on social media. Dev.
You can find me on Resident Evil Battle next week.
Okay, Cap.
You can find me on Sword Beats, where I sing and dance, I throw myself in a bucket, and I work with puppets. And you can watch What If the Lion King Was As Humans, which has been going well. And also, there's a short where I'm reacting to a podcast episode where they make a unique observation about the Lion King accents. And I made Mufasa and Scar react to it. So go check that out, and you can see me on here on numerous shows.
Okay, fantastic. My name is David Pistansky. You find me on David Pistansky everywhere, but also Geek Battle and Geek Battle Gaming. Still forget to update that. But, yeah, do that. But check out Geek Battle on TikTok and Instagram in particular, because I'm sharing... there's the same stuff on Instagram and TikTok. Haven't shared any of that to the YouTube channel yet, just because... I've got this whole strategy, but I will be uploading it there soon with a bunch of other stuff that I then can't share easily on the other platforms that we mentioned. But follow, Geek Battle on TikTok and Instagram for daily theories and observations. So, with that, until next time, stay safe, always stay extreme, live long and prosper, may the force be with you. Nanu nanu.
Resident Evil 9 is awesome!
Stranger. And we're off the air.